The RCMP in Kitscoty have sworn in a new auxiliary constable to help assist regular officers. Now, Kirk Lougheed hopes to one day become a fully certified RCMP officer. Megan Willis has more on this story.
Welcome aboard.
As an auxiliary constable, the RCMP will be training Lougheed to help officers with everyday tasks.
He will get training on some aspects of law, intervention techniques, handcuffing, all those type operational skills, maintenance things that we have.
Although auxiliary constables wear the official RCMP uniform, they have limited powers until fully trained, but accompany officers with calls they receive.
He'll be attending or coming on shift with a regular member and going on patrol and assisting wherever he can. It might be traffic duties, it might be going into a bar and assisting the member arrest someone. It could be going to a domestic.
Lougheed started with the RCMP doing a summer placement program and plans to stay on as an auxiliary constable for the next 2 years before doing proper training to become a full RCMP officer.
This is just, yeah, like a practicum is what this is. You know, you get the feel of the job. You know, I did the summer student. They took me on a couple of ride-alongs. You know, get to feel for it, but now I want a little bit more.
Although not an official officer, Lougheed feels honored to serve the region he grew up in.
Just to serve the community. I mean, I was raised here, just in this general area. I mean, nothing better than people of your own community seeing you out on the force, helping out. It's really fun when they kick on the lights and actually get going down the highway. It's a blast.
As an auxiliary constable, Lougheed will be partnered with an official member of the RCMP at all times. Megan Willis, Newcap News.
Congratulations are in order for one Lloydminster resident. Tommy Campbell is $250,000 richer. He's this year's grand prize winner in the Lucky Lloyd Lotto. Now, the winning names are drawn this morning at the Lloydminster Region Health Foundation. Second prize goes to Martha Martin of Saskatoon. Now, she's taking home $10,000. The $5,000 third prize goes to Shelley Grupner of Lloydminster. All of the money raised from the lotto is going to build a full orthopedic program at the Lloydminster Hospital. Now, the total amount raised has not yet been finalized. Well, it's a hard-knock life for many athletes who may experience severe blows to the head, often leading to a concussion. In this week's Healthy Living, Anna Stanislaw tells us what signs and symptoms to look out for and how we can prevent concussions.
Hockey and football. These are two full-contact sports that involve a lot of hitting. And for NHL forward David Derzinski, it wasn't too long ago when he himself got into a fight during one of his games, getting punched in the face and receiving a concussion.
Derzinski. When I went off, I blacked out, and then I went to the dressing room and just really dizzy, and my head was kind of like it was pounding, almost like a pulse.
Now, what exactly happens to get a concussion is the force of the impact shakes the brain, hitting the surface of the skull, and this interrupts all the nervous impulses that the brain uses for a brief period of time.
And this therapist says there are numerous signs and symptoms to look out for.
It's a transient thing, but it all depends on the severity of the actual insult.
He says to look for signs of losing their balance or consciousness after the impact. Dizziness, blurred vision, and vomiting can also happen, and ask them simple questions to test their memory. Derzinski says he experienced minor headaches for 10 days, and as for treatment, first aid should be completed first, then rest and monitoring is recommended.
Just gotta wait and take it day by day and start getting back into it with little exercises, and then see if you can get the headaches and stuff to go away.
And the simplest way to prevent any further concussions?
Know your rules, kind of play fair, play hard, but at the same time, these things happen, but the major thing is, like, if it does happen, making sure that you get it assessed properly. And
learn how to hit and don't do anything dirty. I mean, that's how people get hurt and get concussions, is all the dirty hits and high hits and stuff that are right to the head. So, I mean, just learn how to hit and be safe.
Anna Stanislaw, Newcap News.
Turn to Ag News now. The crops are in the ground and now it's about maintaining them. All the recent rain is good for the growing season, but the wet weather also raises a major disease concern for crop specialists. Kyle Gallagher has more in this week's Ag Report.
There's been a lot of rain in the forecast over the past few weeks, but farmers don't seem to mind. All the water has led to ideal growing conditions for crops, but it's also created some favorable conditions for disease.
This is the fourth year in a row in many parts of the prairies where we've had higher than average, or at least average to higher than average rainfall in June. And in June is the time when the diseases can begin to affect our crops.
Farmers who stick to a shorter two-crop rotation, such as wheat and canola, are more susceptible to disease.
The residue or the straw left over from those fields has infection in it, and with the weather warming up and then the moisture that we get in June, that disease begins to fester and it'll affect the crop this year.
In Alberta, sclerotinia and blackleg are the two main concerns for canola, and septoria fungi are appearing in wheat. Some areas in the province are also dealing with clubroot. Whatley says the best defense against disease is fungicide application. Right now is a good time to spray for canola, while the best time to spray for wheat is in a few weeks, once the flag leaves have appeared.
When the flag leaf is just fully emerged, you want to protect it so that it doesn't get kind of lesioned over with these diseases. You want to keep it as green as possible to get optimal photosynthetic activity.
Once the crops are protected, Whatley says the weather should hold up for farmers.
We're looking forward to some good heat in July, and the crops are just going to look great if we get something like that.
Kyle Gallagher, Newcap News.